Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy D Mac. Let's talk. So while I'm in here cooking my chicken in my air fryer, see that nice little air fryer right there? Yeah, D Mac trying to eat healthier. I have to watch my diet and stuff like that. I ain't getting no younger. So while I'm sitting here preparing this, I wanted to go over a few things with y'all. Conflict resolution. This is something that is missing in today's society. This is the reason why we can't get anything settled because instead of sitting down and talking things out and coming to some type of understanding, we will rush to social media to put everybody's business on blast. And this is why we can't come to any type of solutions in anything. If you look at the nature of this country, everything is all about confrontation, but it's not about resolution. We are so quick to be able to put somebody on blast and to expose somebody, but we cannot resolve any issues whatsoever because that requires humility. And humility is something that is definitely missing in this country right now. The last administration showed the people that humility was a weakness. That's what they showed us. Well, that's the message that they put out about humility. Donald Trump said that it was a weakness. And so everybody that follows Donald Trump sees humility as a weakness. And humility is one of the main ingredients in conflict resolution. So when you have a person who has an issue with you, and the first thing they do is run to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram to air their grievances about you instead of talking to you about it, that lets you know that they don't want to solve the issue. They just want to be seen as right in the issue, and they want to win the argument. These are the people that we're dealing with. They're so hell bent on winning something because they probably haven't won anything in their life that they are willing to they're willing to jeopardize a friendship. They're willing to jeopardize anything just to be seen as right. And this is why we have so many issues that we have right now. This is why people are separated from each other. This is why people cannot forgive each other and make amends in situations because they want to be right. They're more concerned about being right than they are about being solution oriented. Um, there are people that'll hold grudges against you forever for the rest of your life. And sometimes you have to be okay with that and allow that person to do what they do because that's just their level of understanding. You can't force a person to resolve an issue with you. You can't force a person to want to end a conflict. You can't force a person to not be your enemy. They may be your enemy and you may not be theirs, but they are definitely yours, whether you're theirs or not. So just keep that in mind whenever you're dealing with people out here in this world. Now, one thing that I do whenever I have to deal with people is I always use myself as the example in any example that I'm trying to make for the simple fact that I can't offend me, but other people will be so easily offended because the word says and Jesus prophesied that in these last days people will be so easily offended that you can't say anything to them, i.e. cancel culture, i.e. all of these other labels that requires you to not be forgiving and um, to not be able to resolve a conflict. Instead of resolving the issue, they want to just cancel you, get rid of you, and make you disappear so that they feel like that issue is done and over with. But it's not, because the person still has that same mindset as they did that caused the offense. There's been absolutely no change in anybody concerning this offense. And so, where do we go from there? You still have people with the same mindset, and there's been nothing resolved at all. So, you're still at square one. So why then would I even engage in a conversation with somebody knowing that they only want to win an argument? Well, I don't. I disengage with people like that once I realize what their true intent is. And I do not carry on those conversations with them. And if anything, that makes them more angry that I'm not willing to feed into their toxic behavior. And then they will begin to say things like, "Oh, you're a chicken," or "You're scared of the truth," or "You're avoiding the truth." No, I'm avoiding idiocracy and I'm avoiding ignorance when I do that. I have no time nor the the obligation of sitting and listening to somebody's toxic mindset and their lack of knowledge of anything and just expressing their ignorance. I have no time for that, and I won't sit through that. I won't subject myself to that. Some people will subject themselves to that, but I don't. Anybody who is coming to me with a toxic nature and all of that stuff, you can go ahead and kill that because I will dismiss you very, very fast. You're not going to come on my page with toxicity. You're not going to come into my life, period, with toxicity because I will dismiss you very fast from both my page and my life. And this is something that we have to understand as a people, that some people are just out to challenge. They're out to discredit in order to make themselves feel better because they have low self-esteem. And when you have a person like that, hurt people will hurt people. Just know that that is a very real statement. Hurt people will absolutely hurt people. This is what they do. They can't help it because that's all they know is pain and resistance and anger. So that's all they're able to operate in. So just know that when you're dealing with people out here in this world and you're having confrontations and you have disagreements, when you disagree with somebody, that's basically you saying to them that they don't know anything and that you're better than them in their eyes. That's the way they see it. They don't have the foresight to be like, well, why does this person not agree with me, or why does they think the way that they do? They automatically go to, oh, well, you're wrong, you're stupid, and they begin their attack against you because that's the only line of defense that they have whenever they run out of talking points. See, a person who's well versed in something can have a debate with you and they won't get emotional, they won't get in their feelings, they won't attack you, they will stay on the topic because they are knowledgeable of what they're speaking about and they don't need those other tactics in order to bring about some type of common ground or some type of resolution in the situation as far as getting the answer. So anytime you dealing with somebody, the first thing that they do is start attacking you. That's because they have nothing else to back up their argument or their point, and they will begin to say things like, "Oh, you're stupid," or "You're ignorant," or they'll begin to gaslight. They'll say things like, "Oh, you're just blowing this out of proportion. Oh, you're just doing too much. You're over exaggerating." They will try to gaslight and blow it out of and do those things to make you seem less credible. These are the tactics of a person who does not have knowledge and understanding of what you're talking about. This is a person who lives off of talking points that they heard from someone else and haven't bothered to do any research of their own to validate what has been said. So when we deal with these types of people, in the first 60 seconds, you can determine what they are looking for in that conversation. You can determine whether they're looking for a solution or if they're just looking to be right, and learn to disengage at that point because the conflict is not worth it. I've seen people out here die over some of the most trivial things, and it was totally unnecessary. And a simple conflict resolution skill could have saved a life. So many of these rappers that are dying right now, conflict resolution could have saved hundreds of lives that have been taken by violence out here in the streets. But they have absolutely no conflict resolution skills. They've never been taught any, and maybe the people who raised them didn't have any themselves. So you can't teach what you don't know. And so this is a major problem and a major reason why we have so much death and so much discord in this country and always will, because people do not exercise or practice conflict resolution. If you have a problem with me, we can resolve that issue peacefully. If you don't want to resolve it peacefully, then we can resolve it in another way. If you think about trying to harm me or mine, that goes without saying. But I prefer to try to resolve it peacefully first. That's always my go-to first, is to peacefully resolve anything. And if you persist after that point, well, now I've got all rights and intents to do what I want to. So I'll just leave that right there for you to mull over for the rest of the day. And this is your boy D Mac. Next time you're out and about and you have a conflict with anybody, family member, stranger, it doesn't matter who. Think about resolving the issue and thinking about finding a peaceable solution instead of just being right and being seen as right and telling somebody off, because that's not going to get anybody anywhere but more resentment and bitterness. This is your boy D Mac, man. You know what I say: sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word will always heal you. I'm out.